Hey guys, Brandon Hanley here. Excited to bring you this video. I was on the AutoFunnel AI, the live call today with Trey and Pavle and the team, and saw a couple questions in there regarding domains, and there was some confusion there. I've been doing this for a while, and I gotta tell you, sometimes domains and records and DNS does get a little confusing if you don't do it a lot. So I want to make a video to help you guys out. Okay, so what you guys can see here inside your AutoFunnel AI account is on the left-hand side, all the way down at the bottom, you're gonna see a little gear icon, and it's gonna say integrations and settings. So when you click on that, it's gonna take you to an area where it says My Domains. Now, if you guys haven't added a domain yet to your AutoFunnel AI account, there'll be nothing here, okay? So you just wanna click on Add New Domain. But before we get there, just wanna explain a little bit about the different, the subdomain versus a root domain. Now, as Trey mentioned today on the call, someone has already, I think they were using their domain with a WordPress account. Got some SEO and stuff going on that. So if you were to remove that record and put it into AutoFunnel AI, you're gonna lose all that information wherever it was at, right? So you'd wanna add a subdomain to that, okay? And all a subdomain is something in front of your root domain, okay? So that might sound confusing, but I'll use my domain as an example. BrandonHanley.com I've had for a long time. I have it on another platform, which has my website on it, and I do a bunch of stuff with email all through that platform. So I wouldn't want to mess with that and add it to AutoFunnel AI. So what I would do is I would add a subdomain. And so that subdomain, as you guys can see here, I put AF for autofunnel.brandonhanley.com. Now keep in mind, you're gonna be sending people to this URL, okay? So if I was sending traffic to it, it might be whatever my book is. Like if I'm creating a bookle, let's say maybe it's the AI lead machine or whatever you're gonna call your book, you might wanna use that, or you might just wanna go book or go or whatever, but you're gonna be using this domain. So don't make it super long. Like if you put a long old name in front of as a subdomain, it's gonna be pretty long and that's not really recommended. So you could use whatever you want here as a subdomain in front of it. I just put AF, okay? So might be better to put go.brandonhanley.com, right? And that would actually go to my AutoFunnel AI account, right? So that's what we're gonna do today. And I'm gonna add two records. I'm gonna add a new record. So for example, if you were to go to GoDaddy and you were to buy a new domain, right? Whatever that domain may be, I'm gonna go that route, and then I'll go to already having a domain and adding a subdomain to it, okay? I know it might be a little confusing. Stick with me, guys. I promise you guys can watch this video and it'll all make sense. So that being said, I'm gonna go into the AutoFunnel AI, my account, and I'm gonna add a domain. And I'm gonna be adding this one here, brandoncourses.com. I've had that for a while, haven't messed with it, so might as well just add it in here. So I'm gonna put www.brandoncourses.com, and then I'm gonna click add domain, okay? So what's gonna happen next is it's gonna say waiting for a CNAME. So what we need to do is we need to add a CNAME record, which is just a record, to wherever we're hosting our domain at. So I'm using GoDaddy. If you guys are using Google Domains or you guys are using Namecheap or Cloudflare, whatever you're using, you need to go to where that domain is basically hosted, right? And you need to add your DNS records there, okay? So considering mine's in GoDaddy, I'm gonna go over here and you'll see that we need to point a www at this live autofunnel.ai okay? And you wanna make sure you grab the whole thing here. So, and then I'm just gonna copy that. And I'm gonna go into where my DNS records is and add new record, and it's gonna be a CNAME, and it said www, right? So www, and we're gonna paste that value in there, and then hit save. And what's gonna happen is it's gonna say updating DNS records, and it says success. Now keep in mind, guys, like this is adding a root domain. So I'm adding brandoncourses.com to my AutoFunnel AI account, okay? Now, sometimes it takes a while for the propagation to go through, okay? What that means is one system has to talk to the other system and then has to talk back to that system, right? And so sometimes it takes a little bit. So don't get discouraged if you say, I've done this, and you click refresh and it says waiting. It doesn't mean you did anything wrong. It just takes some time, okay? So typically I say, 5-10 minutes. Sometimes it's quicker than that. I think the rule of thumb is 24 to 48 hours. I've never seen it take that long. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pause this video and I'll tell you how long it took. Let me refresh one more time to see if, yeah, it's still waiting. So we've added the domain correctly. So what I'm gonna do is while we're waiting, I'm gonna show you how to do a subdomain of that, okay? So let's pretend rather than, let's add a domain here. And let's say we want to do a subdomain of, the Brandon Hanley, right? So I could go.brandonhanley.com, okay? So I would hit add domain, right? So now I'm putting a subdomain there. I already have one, af.brandonhanley, but I'm gonna now do a go. So if I were to hit add domain, same thing. You're gonna have to add a CNAME record again. So I would just go back in and where it, let me just go into that domain real quick. And I think I have it in Cloudflare. I do. So Cloudflare is a little bit different, but go to DNS records and you'll see all this stuff over here, a bunch of records, right? Kind of scary, right? But same thing, I need to add a CNAME record. So CNAME, and we're using Go, right? So Go is our subdomain. Like www in theory is a subdomain of your root, but didn't want to confuse you guys on that. So we're using go.brandonhanley.com, right? So now I'm going to paste that in there again, wherever it's at. So it's live. And keep in mind, when you're copying this stuff too, you want to make sure you copy right before the L and right at the end of the AI with the dot. Okay, you want to make sure you grab the whole record. So I'm going to copy that there. And we're going to go back in here and we're going to paste it, okay? So, and then for this example, if you guys are using Cloudflare, this is an option to turn the proxy off. For this example, I would turn it off just so things can connect. And then if you want to turn it back on, you can. It'll be good to go. Okay, so I'm not going to save this now because I don't want to add another record to AutoFunnel AI, but I'm just showing you the process. So as you guys saw in the last one with the domains, I added www. So you would add, if you're doing a subdomain, you would just add the whatever's in front of your root. Okay, so I said go. All right, so that's how that would work there. So let me go back in here and I am going to delete this and remove the go because I don't want it. And then let's refresh it and see if this works. Okay, it's still waiting. Like I said, this is totally normal. It's not like anything's broke. It just takes time to verify records. So I am going to pause the video and then I'll let you know when we are good to go. All right, guys, we're live. So another little trick here. I was clicking refresh, right? And it wasn't verifying. So what I did, and this is literally, it took me 2 seconds. I paused the video and then I just went back out here to like AutoFunnel and then went back into integrations and settings. And it was verified. So it could be refreshing, the system's refreshing. So try that. But see, now that we're live, we have the brandoncourses.com, we're verified. Now, when we're in our account, if we go to put a new domain together, like if we were to put a new funnel, like say, for example, this one, we would go in and we'd be able to connect. This is free ebook lead generator. We could connect our domain now, okay? So you're gonna get a URL from AutoFunnel AI, right? This is a public URL where you actually send people to, but obviously we want to send people to our own, branded custom domain. So all I would do is click connect here and I would select the Brandon courses and we're live, right? So if you see now this first page, probably takes a second for this thing to load, but if I were to now go to brandoncourses.com, before there was nothing there, it's gonna take some time, right? So it's not live yet. It's take a couple seconds to do, right? Like I said, things take time to propagate, so we will just give it a second. But you'll see the www.brandoncourses.com is now attached to this funnel, and this was a free lead book. It's one of the examples I showed someone else a couple days ago. So let's give it one more second here. And what I like to do too, guys, is I copy this and put it in an incognito window because you will notice it's basically a fresh browser and it's still taking some time here. So we'll give it a few seconds. But that's how you guys do it, right? It's like I said, so we've connected the domain, we've done all that stuff, and now AutoFunnel AI is doing what it does in the background, right? It's authenticating and do all that really cool stuff. So when we send someone to this funnel page, right? This Brandon, let's just click on it here and see if it works. Not yet, okay? So, and this is totally normal, okay? This takes time to do. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff going on in the background that people don't realize. So, but this is how you're gonna connect it. I'll pause it and I'll show you when we're ready to go. All right, we're back. So that took about 3 or 4 minutes. Totally normal. Like I said, this whole internet game is about patience, right? We are relying on systems that talk to other systems and then authenticate and add records and then verify and add SSL certificate. Oh, there's a bunch of stuff happening in the background. So keep in mind, it does take a little bit of time. But if I click on this now, it is going to take me over to this page. Now, this was just an example page, but if this was your website or a funnel or whatever, it's now live, and it's live on brandoncourses.com, right? And you guys can see here, they provide, AutoFunnel AI provides your security. So the SSL, we are all verified here. It's secure. So really cool stuff what AutoFunnel AI is doing for us. And the process is pretty simple, right? So it was not too big of a headache, but if you guys have any questions regarding this, if you guys are using a different, like maybe Google Domains or Namecheap or website.com, right? There's a bunch of places you can buy domains. Just look for, when you buy your domain there, or you already have your domain there, make sure you have the login credentials. I get that a lot. Is can't even log in. My web developer had it, or my daughter helped me out, or my son helped me out, whatever. Make sure you can log in to wherever your domain's at, and then find the domain and then look for DNS. And then you guys can follow this. Now, some things might look a little bit different, right? Like the type, the name, and the data. So like the data is usually the value, right? So if you guys have any questions on that, just let me know and I'll explain it, or I can make a Loom video for you guys and explain it on if you're on a certain platform, like Google Domains or whatever. But this is all you need to do to get your subdomain or your root domain inside AutoFunnel AI. And then from there, you guys can go into any one of these funnels and then just attach whatever domains you have in here. And what's cool about AutoFunnel AI is you can use a bunch of domains, right? So you're not just limited to one domain. You could have one funnel that is, maybe your book, the name of your book.com, right? And then you could have another website funnel style thing that you could have your business there. But that's all in the domain settings here. As you can see, there's a bunch in here that are verified and ready to go. So huge shout out to Trey, Pavle, Nick, the whole team at AutoFunnel AI for making some really cool software. And I'll be making some other videos too. I know some of you guys were talking about Zapier and how it's scary, and you guys want to do email. I know Trey and the team are bringing some really cool features to AutoFunnel AI soon. So I'll show you guys some workarounds in the process if you guys want to start sending out email and stuff like that in the next videos. But just let me know what you guys want to see, and I'll do my best to make you guys videos as quick as possible. So talk to you guys soon. Cheers.